This is the plaintiff, Felix Calderon. He says the defendant's dog attacked his dog, Niko, at a dog park, and he was very apologetic about the whole thing. That night, when he told him about the vet bills, he said he'd meet him the next day with the money he was owed. Sure enough, the shady guy didn't show up, and now he's not answering the phone and is trying to ignore him, and he won't stand for it. He's suing for $387.95, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Lyndon Houghton. He says there was a multi-dog scuffle at the dog park, and the plaintiff did mention to him that his dog's ear got nipped. There was never any mention, however, that his dog was the one doing the nipping. All the dogs were piled on top of each other. His dog isn't even a pit bull, and he owes this confused guy nothing. He is accused of nipping Niko.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Calderon, you took your dog to a dog park in Tampa, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the name of the dog park?
It's Deputy Kotfula Memorial Dog Park, downtown Tampa.
Okay. All right, and what kind of dog do you have?
I have a mixture of a Border Collie, German Shepherd mix.
Okay. So you bring your dog inside, and what happens while you're at the dog park?
He's interacting with dogs, and he's playing around and just sniffing, saying hello. And he was sniffing the defendant's dog, and that dog quickly bit him right behind the ear, causing a big bleeding behind it. And I noticed it right away, and I went up to the owner, and I told him about it, and he felt sorry about that. How did you know who the owner was?
Because
he was right next to him, and I noticed that.
All right, so what was it exactly that you said to him?
I said that his dog bit my dog, and he noticed the cut over the back of the ear, and he felt sorry, and he offered to pay for the vet bill. That's what he told me. We exchanged information. I got his phone number, and I called him from the dog park right there to verify that was his number. So right after that, I left the dog park. Yes.
Okay. So I have a question for you. Did he notice that his dog had bit your dog, or he wasn't looking and he didn't even notice it?
He noticed there was a scuffle, that his dog was aggressively trying to get my dog. I pulled my dog
Were there any other dogs involved?
Not there. There was no other fight.
No, not in this case. There were no other dogs. Okay. All right, so you get his number, and what happens? Do you text back and forth with him initially once you took your dog to the vet? By the way, your dog had to have a couple of stitches, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And your dog's okay now, but the bill is $387.95, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so when you initially tell him that, how do you do it? By text?
I called him from the vet facility, and he agreed to pay for the vet bill, and we were going to meet on the 4th of January on a Saturday back at that same park.
Did you go back to that park to meet him?
I did, ma'am.
And did he show up?
No.
All right, let me ask you, Mr. Houghton, what is it that happened?
I started playing fetch with my dog at the dog park, and as I was playing fetch with my dog, I threw the ball. His dog came running along with several other dogs, and they all started going for the ball, and one of them got aggressive. I can't specifically say which one. And they all started just barking at each other's faces. And it was just a big scuffle in that whole situation. When I went to go grab my dog, I grabbed him by the collar and brought him back. I wasn't too clear or see anyone else. Like, I saw everyone grab their dog. I didn't specifically look for his dog or him. I didn't notice him at the time. I didn't notice anything there. But as I brought my dog back to the area that I was playing with my dog, his dog came over maybe several moments later and started barking in my dog's face. And literally he just sat there like it was like crazy or whatever, like something happened. And he came over, grabbed his dog when he was barking in his face, and walked away. He came back, stated to me, "Your dog nipped my dog." I'm like, I don't think so. I didn't see anything. What, let me see it. So I asked him to see the nip. I was like, okay, well, I mean, that's crazy. That sucks. So, I felt bad about the situation. And I asked him, how do you know it was my dog? And he was like, well, I saw your dog do it. And I was like, I saw your dog come over here and bark in my dog's face. And my dog did not bite your dog whatsoever. And then the scuffle, I didn't see my dog bite any dog in the scuffle either. There's a bunch of dogs. I'm not sure how you saw specifically my dog bite your dog. So I gave him my number.
Was there
I told
a
him to keep me
discussion about
posted.
some hold on one second. Was there, Mr. Calderon, was there a specific discussion about a prior incident where there was a ruckus with a bunch of dogs at the dog park? Did that ever happen?
No, ma'am. There was only 2 specific dogs, my dog and his dog.
Okay. And is this the fellow who you talked to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the number you called was his number. Of course, you did give him your number. You admit that. And then did you make a plan to meet with him at the dog park and then not show up and not call and not say anything and just let the guy show up and waste his time?
Yes, I actually go to that park every Sunday. Every Sunday. Not between 9 and 11 every Sunday. I have not
Okay, did you
seen
make a
him
plan
since.
to meet him on Saturday? Did you make a plan
No,
to
I
meet
did
him
not.
that Saturday and to pay him? Did you ever tell him you were going to pay him?
No, I didn't. I never said I
Why
was going to
not?
pay him.
Because your dog, okay, so then why did you give him your number?
Because I felt bad for his dog. I told him to keep me posted. I thought it was just like a friendly note. I actually shared my number with several other people that day.
Animal control gets involved because, according to him, you left them standing there holding the bag that Saturday. So then you do call animal control, correct, Mr. Calderon?
Yeah, I do, ma'am.
All right. And then animal control gets a hold of you. And I've read the animal control reports, Mr. Houghton, where you tell them that you never go to that dog park. Tell me about that. Because you just told me that you were there every Sunday.
When animal control called me, myself, I told them the specific dog park I go to. They told me a dog park. I said I did not. I don't know that dog park. I don't know the name of that dog
What's
park.
the
I don't
dog
even think
park
I've
they
brought my
told
dog
you?
there. I don't remember.
Well, let's look at the animal control report. They went by your house on January 15th, tried calling you, left voicemail messages, left a note on your door, and you didn't answer them. That's what they say. Is that true or false?
I'd have to say that's false because I definitely spoke with them.
They say they spoke with you. They say that their first attempt to contact you was January 15th, which was completely ignored. Is that true or false?
January 15th, I didn't see or hear their contacting me in any way, shape, or form.
What did he tell you his name was on that day, Mr. Calderon?
Travis.
Is that your name,
Travis?
Mr. Houghton?
My name is Lyndon.
We know, but I'm asking you, did you ever tell him your name was Travis?
No.
I mean, I don't know that, that would be an attempt to throw you off if they're giving you their phone number. When you say I called it right there, I don't know that he knew you were going to do that. If he was trying to throw you off, he would have given you a fake phone number. Here we go. So now on January 24th, Mr. Houghton, here's what we have from Animal Control. On 1/24, I'm following up on a bite that occurred at Deputy Cotfilia Memorial Dog Park. And you said you have a dog park in Brandon and would have no reason to go to a park in downtown Tampa. Well, the park we're talking about is a park you go to in downtown Tampa every Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay, why would the animal control officer say that you told him that you have a park in Brandon and you never go to the animal park in downtown Tampa?
I'm not sure. Maybe they probably misheard what I stated, but I can't say that I said that because I know for a fact I didn't say that.
Why in your answer to the complaint do you say there was some confusion in the beginning?
I'm sorry. What are you referring to?
In your
In the
answer to
beginning
the
of-
plaintiff's complaint, answer to the plaintiff's complaint, you say that there was some confusion in the beginning because your dog was identified as a pit bull and it's not a pit bull. What's the confusion, though? You know, a guy says your dog bit his dog. Why are you playing dumb with the officer and saying that you weren't there and that didn't happen? How is that confusion?
Simply because,
how many times do you get accused of this has to be like a momentous event that someone accuses your dog of causing $400 in vet bills.
Right. And when they stated that to me, the confusion was because he called my dog a pit bull when they first called and stated your pit bull bit someone, so on and so forth. I think the conversation went, I can't fully recall it. But I said, I don't have a pit bull. They said, well, they're saying that it was a pit bull, this, that, and a third. I'm like, I don't have a pit bull, I have a Catahoula. Then they said, all right, well, they're saying that someone, your dog, or whatever it is, bit that dog, this, that, and a third. I'm like, I don't recall my dog.
Well, according to animal control, you totally denied ever going to that park. And then they came back at you another week later and said that he had identified you from pictures. And that's when you said, oh, yeah, I was there. But let's see. I don't want to paraphrase. You still claim that you didn't remember the incident and we're not at the park. An officer now says twice he talked to you and you said that. So
I think Officer Lewis was a female because a female contacted me twice.
Okay.
Secondly, when she spoke with me about the incident. The incident in the dog park she stated I did not go to. I let her know that wasn't the dog park. I misunderstood what she must have stated. I told her I didn't go to that dog park.
Did you misunderstand again did you misunderstand again in February? Because in February, you still say that you don't go to the dog park.
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. So the plaintiff says there were a bunch of dogs in the dog park and the defendant's dog attacked his and they won't pay the vet bill. But the defendant says the plaintiff is confused because he didn't promise anyone anything. Let's go back into the courtroom.
In February, she says she talks to you that second time, and you say you don't remember the incident. Wait, two things. You say you don't remember the incident, and you've never been to that dog park. But we know that's false because you just told me all about the incident under oath. You remember an incident.
Right.
See, you're not telling them, hey, my dog didn't bite that dog. You're telling them, I don't know, it wasn't me. That's what you're telling them. And it isn't until, let's see, when you say they don't let it go. I got to tell you, this is what city? Hillsborough County, Tampa, and Florida. They're good because most of these agencies lose interest after a few times, and they were really tenacious about it. Let's see. Did you ever admit to animal control that the stuff you said to me today, did you ever tell them, hey, a guy accuses my dog of having bit, but the dog did? Did you ever say that to them?
I told them that, I believe, several contacts later, and I said, I think I remember a time, I believe I said something like that, but I told them, same thing I told you, I told them my dog didn't bite anyone.
Okay, here's the thing, though.
But I don't.
I've got two different people saying two different things, right? So I've got to determine who's telling me the truth. I've got documented instances where animal control says that you were trying to shirk your responsibility by just telling them I never go to that park. It wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden, when they won't let it go, according to you, you tell me, and I'm not seeing that animal control report, but you tell me that you finally told them, okay, yeah, that was me. According to you, they have the dog park wrong the 6 times that they've attempted to reach you on this and the 2 times that they've talked to you. I find that a little hard to believe, particularly when Officer Lewis writes in her report that you said I would never be at a park in downtown Tampa, which is exactly where the park you go to every Sunday is. That is so specific. It's not that she named the wrong name of a park, which incidentally is named for an officer. It's that you literally were telling them that you're never there. Then we find out that your defense here is, oh, that's not true. There were a bunch of dogs. So I got to decide which of you is lying. Who do you think I'm going to pick? Who do you think I'm going to pick? When I've got you literally trying to weasel out. You don't show up on the Saturday. I know it's you because he's got your phone number. You eventually admit to being in that park. You denied having been in that park. You tell me that it's their mistake because they told you the wrong park. She tells me specifically in her report that you claimed I would never be in a park in downtown Tampa. So who do you think, Douglas? What's this sounding like to you, sweetheart?
It's not sounding good for the D.
No, no, okay? Because this isn't a case of beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt like a criminal case. It's a civil case. The standard of proof is by a preponderance of the evidence. And based on the shady things that I am seeing between your dealings and with animal control and your dealings with him, where you make an appointment and you don't show up, I'm pretty ready to rule that you were just trying to skirt your responsibility. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $387.95. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Well, this is not a good day in court for Mr. Houghton, the defendant. Mr. Houghton, let me talk to you for a moment. What do you think about what the judge just had to say to you?
Well, they only stated me the name of the dog park one time, and that was the first phone call. And I mean, that of course I'm going to continuously say, no, I didn't go there because you only told me the name of the dog park one time, and you only stated it one time. And that's what I'm speaking of, not several times after they called.
Anyway, bottom line, the judge just plain didn't believe you, you know, and you promised you were going to pay the vet bills, but you didn't. So what do you think about that?
I didn't promise that.
Well, the plaintiff says you did, and the judge agreed, and you are going to have to pay the $387, and I'm sorry, but that's the judge's verdict. You're a loser here today, okay? Sorry about that, but that's the way it is. All right, Mr. Calderon, you must be feeling pretty good right now, I would think. This has been a long time coming.
Yes, sir. I'm pretty satisfied with the outcome.
Are you going to go to that dog park again? You know, you've been there before. Do you keep going back?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations, and that'll wrap up this case. We've been through it all. Let's find out more now about how the judges feel about this. Judge Millian and her husband, Judge John, and another session of After the Verdict.
The claim in this case was only $387, not a huge vet bill, something that the plaintiff probably could have just stroked a check for if he wanted to, but he pursued it pretty doggedly, wouldn't you say?
Yes, he did.
Not always just about the money.
No, right. And small claims is most often not about the money, but about the principle. I think he felt very taken aback by the fact that the guy just left him standing there that Saturday after saying he would pay it.
Now, certainly with the evidence in this case, there are certain things as a judge that you're looking for, just like in a poker game, you're looking at other players for a tell. When you have somebody giving a false name, potentially, when you have somebody making a prior inconsistent statement, and especially when you have police reports saying that the guy said, hey, I've never even been in that park before, that I don't know where that dog park is.
Right.
Those are tells.
Those are tells. And the thing is, you know, the Travis thing doesn't bother me very much because he's sitting there giving him the correct phone number. So I don't know what was going on there, but I definitely see that he's attempting to minimize and, you know, weasel his way out of the payment later because, you know, when he says to me, she gave me the wrong name of the park. We know that's not true.
Right.
Because it was a very detailed explanation by the officer in the animal control report saying he said he would never go to a park in the downtown Tampa area. So it was very specific.
Right. Why in the world would the officer say that in the report? If out to get somebody, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it just didn't make sense. Right. And, you know, oftentimes when you have a civil case, you're looking to see, all right, these are two diametrically opposed stories. Which one of them is not being forthright?
Wasn't a tough choice for you on the credibility question.
No. Was it tough for you or?
Not at all.
Nope, I didn't think so.
I was recently a victim of Hurricane Laura and my house was ruined. Is there any legal way to get the insurance company to get me some money to live before they get around to surveying my damage? Well, it's all about the insurance policy. You have to read what your policy says. That is everything. But I will say this to you. If the insurance company has an obligation to give you money to live while they survey the damage and they don't do it, use the two magic words, bad faith. Call them up and say it. You will not believe how they will jump to if what they were doing was wrong. And that will do it for this case. Litigants are in the courtroom for the next case.